Alright, this is Geometry Chapter 12, Section 5. Coordinates in a plane that have circles. Circles on a coordinate plane. Alright, so we have a circle. We have that center of the circle. And we have the radius of the circle to this circle. We're going to call the center coordinates h and k. And we'll just call this regular x and y. Theorem 12.6 is an equation of a circle. 16, sorry, there's 16. So equation of a circle, and it says essentially it's the distance formula, and it says that x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals the radius squared. This is an equation of a circle, or we can call it a standard equation of a circle. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Or you could leave it at the difference of x and h squared plus the difference of y and k squared equals r squared, where h and k is the center of the circle, and then r is the radius of the circle. So, where does it come from? Well, it comes from the distance formula. And if you recall, the distance formula is d equals x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared, and the whole thing is square rooted. Well, in the case of the equation of a circle, instead of d, we're replacing that with r. Alright, instead of x2, we're just going to call it x. And then this is, instead of x1, we're going to call it h. And instead of y2, we call it y. Instead of y1, we call it k squared. That whole thing is square rooted. Well, we don't want the square root there in this case, so we square that, and the square is going to get rid of the square root. And what you do to one side, you do to the other. So you get r squared is equal to x minus h squared plus y minus k squared. So that's where it comes from. It is essentially the distance from the circle to the center, which is the radius. Okay. For 1a, they want you to write the standard equation of a circle where you have a radius of 6 and you have a center of 3, 5. So they're just putting our equation x minus h y minus k squared and squared. We have a center of 3 and 5, so we're going to replace h with 3, k with 5, and then we have a radius of 6. We replace r with 6, so it's going to be 6 squared equals x minus 3 squared plus y minus 5. Right. Square root of 6, so that's going to be 36 equals x minus 3 plus y minus 5. And then for b, it says the center is -2, -1, and then the radius is the square root of 2. So when we set that one up, it's going to be square root of 2 squared equals x minus -2 squared plus y minus -1 squared. And the square and the square root there cancels out, so that's going to be 2 x plus 2 squared plus y plus 1 squared. And that is the equation for that particular circle. Okay. All right. This is what's the standard equation of a circle that has a center of 4, 3, and passes through -1 and 1. So it has center is 4 and 3, and it goes through -1 and 1. All right, so this is a two-step problem. First step is to find the radius. And the way that you do that is you use the distance formula to find r. So r is going to equal x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared, and the whole thing is going to be square rooted. So we'll call this the ones, this the twos. So it's going to be 4 minus -1 squared plus 3 minus 1 squared, and the whole thing's going to be square rooted. That's going to be 4 plus 1 squared plus 3 plus 1 squared. That's going to be 5 squared plus 4 squared. So that's 25 plus 16. And 25 plus 16 is, I'm sorry, not 4 squared. This is wrong. 3 minus 1. So this is 2 squared. My mistake. So it's plus 4. 4 is 1 is 5. 3 minus 1 is 2. Yeah. So that's 25 plus 4. So that's 29. Square root of 29. So the radius equals the square root of 29. Okay. Once you find the radius, then you can set up your standard equation. So step 2, write the equation. So remember your h and k is 4, 3. So your h and your k is 4 and 3 because it's the center. So when I set that up, it's going to be 29 square root, but that's going to be squared, is equal to x minus 4 squared plus y minus 3 squared. So then our final equation is going to be 29 equals x minus 4 plus y minus 3 squared. Okay, so if they give you a problem where they give you the center that passes through a point, the first thing you're going to do is use the distance formula to find the radius. After you find the radius, then you can plug in all your numbers, the radius, and square that, and then h and k to find the equation of the circle. We're not going to be graphing circles, but they do give me a scenario here. What is the center of the circle with this equation and the radius? So if I have x minus 2 squared plus y minus 3 squared equal 100, to find the radius, I would just square root the r squared. So the radius is equal to the square root of 100, which is 10. And then to find this, remember it is x minus h and y minus k. So h in this case is 2. K equals 3. So the center is 2, 3. All right. Let's actually go through the more questions because I don't think there's enough examples. So it says, what's the standard form of the equation of this circle? So for number 1, we have the center at 0, 0. And we have the radius at 4. So this is going to be r squared equals x minus h squared plus y minus k squared. So h and k are both 0, so it's going to be, and r is 4, so it's going to be 4 squared equals x minus 0 squared plus y minus k squared. So then we get 16 is equal to x squared plus y squared. Y minus 0 squared. So when the center is 0, 0, it's just going to be x squared plus y squared. For number 2, we have a center at -1, -1, 5 squared equals x minus h, so it's going to be x minus 1 squared plus y minus negative 1 squared, and square root of 5 is 5, x minus 1 squared plus y plus 1 squared, and that would be the equation of that circle. And for these last two, they want to know what is the center of the circle and the radius. So for 3, we have x minus 8 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals 7. Alright, so here's my h, here's my k, so that would be my center. So the center would be 8 and 4, and then remember this is radius squared, so in order to find the radius I would square root that 7. So the radius is the square root of 7. And for 4, we have x plus 2 squared plus y minus 4 squared. Oops, this is a 9. Whoopsie. So this is going to be the square root of 9, which is 3. So the radius is 3. 7. Alright. So this right here, this x plus 2, is the same thing as saying x minus negative 2. So when I do my center h and k, h is going to be negative 2, and then 4 is going to be k. And then this is going to be square rooted, so my radius is the square root of 7. Alright, that is this section. Real quick one. Hope you have a great rest of your day.